tuned.
Sorry to interrupt. Wei, could you record this meeting? Wei, you online?
Yeah.
You start recording?
Yeah,
I think it's recording now. Okay.
yes.
Please go ahead, Daniel. Sorry for the interrupt.
Yeah, so as Alex said, this is work in progress. We are pretty advanced. And actually today I'm putting together a proposal compliant with a template. So you will be able, if everyone is interested, please go ahead. You will have a chance to have a peek view on what you are working on. So that's it from my side. And maybe one last comment. As Alex mentioned, we will provide probably the first adapter will be for Microscanner, which is an open source image scanner from Aqua, but also probably we'll wrap Claire and we'll see how far we can go with Anchor. It's kind of a reference implementation for the proposal we are working on.
Great. Can you talk about maybe, the different value propositions of Aqua versus Claire? Why would user use Aqua in addition to Claire, or why would someone use Aqua as a replacement for Claire, maybe?
Yeah, this is a good product question. I'm more on this technical side, but in short, as you already mentioned, there's a difference in type of operating system supported. There is a difference of application dependencies. So for example, Claire can scan NPMs for Node.js community, but for example, does not support Oracle Linux distribution. So there is a difference. There is a kind of a, I don't call it competition, but emerging scanners. And I think this will be a equal opportunity to all of them to the users to choose the best one, and even somehow use the unified adapter API to compare the results and have a choice. And obviously there is a different pricing models. The Microscanner is open source, it's constrained somehow. But on the other hand, it gives you quite accurate results. I don't want to, again, compare those two during the community meeting, but obviously we will give kind of a benchmark. And this is, having a bunch of adapters implemented will give you a real value of comparing and choosing them. Right now you are constrained to Claire. You don't really know how often the Claire database is updated. And you are very limited by the capability of Claire maintainers to help you out with with supporting. It doesn't really scale very well, I would say. Right, so you can choose the fast-paced scanners or the ones that are capable for kind of images that you are storing in the registry.
Great.
So that's it.
Yeah, so this is a feature we're working on for 1.10. So this is not slated for a 1.9 release. So this is something that we could potentially deliver before the end of the year, but it's very much in the roadmap, and we're already working on the engineering side of things, as you can see. Yep, so that's it for me on the community side.
Thank you, Alex. Next is the future demo. First welcome Yan Wang to demo the Quota Pro project. Welcome, Yan.
Thanks, wait. Let me share my screen. Okay, so let me give you some background about Project Quota, this feature. Harbor enforces quota on resource usage of project, setting a hard limit on how much a particular artifact account and storage that your project can use. So this is the Anchor feature in 1.9. Last week, last time community meeting, I just demo you a briefly idea about the quota, but in this meeting, I will demo you some end-to-end scenario about size or storage on artifact count. So let me start. So as you can see, we add a new summary page for a project. You can get the project summary data in this page. And let's try to push one image to my library. Yes, so let's see the, yes, you can see the quota change, the count change to 1, and we have some megabyte calculated of all my storage. And so the size and the count are, we have intercepted the request to about the Docker push. So we analyze the request to capture the blob size for each Docker image. So that size is for the Docker image and the count is for the artifact. So the Corda also enabled for the Helm chart. So let me try to upload a new Helm chart to my library. So we can see the count is up to 2. So the count quota is both for Docker image and the Helm chart. Currently, there are 2 kinds of artifacts that Harbor serves. So let's try to delete the chart. Yes, yeah, as you can see, the count is down to 1. Let's try to push another image into my library project and try to see what happened. Yes, you can see the count has been up to 2, but the size didn't change. So why? Because I just put the same image with different tag. In Harbor, the shared blob in project will not be double counted. So these 2 images are shared the same blobs. So you can see that we have 2 images, but the size is just only for 1. That's what I mentioned, that the shared blob in project will not be double counted. But the shared blob cross project will be double counted. So let's try to give a new project to 100 megabyte quota. So let's try to push the same image to my read tag. Yes, you can see the storage consumption is up to 30 megabyte in the read tag project, and in the library, the same thing happens. So the shared blob cross project will be double counted. Let me give you another demo about read tag. So read tag is the feature that in Harbor, that means you can move existing repository from one project to another project. So let's try to move on to my, sorry, I forgot the project name. Oh, demo reader. So the retag successfully. Let's go into the demo retag. Yeah, we got the code that has changed. We have one repo and the size is the same as the source project. And let me give you an interesting case about the when I reach to the threshold of my project code, what will happen. So let's try to get let's create a new project with called account 2 and 200 megabyte. And I will try to push an image which is larger than 200 megabyte. So let's try to what happen. Yeah, the Java image is about maybe 400 or 500 megabyte. Size. Yes, you can see the last blob cannot be pushed successfully because the size is already reached to the threshold. Let's try to see how many we got it. Yeah, let's try to see the call of size project. We already get 100 megabyte blob has been uploaded successfully to my project, but the last one with 300 megabyte size, so that request cannot be pushed successfully to my project because the code has already been reached to the limitation. So the Docker will try to try to push the filling blobs, and eventually the Docker will get the error message with that you cannot get enough quota for your Docker image. And the successfully uploaded the blobs can be deleted by the garbage collection. I think this is my demo. So do you have any questions?
Yeah, first comment, I think this is super cool. Thank you.
No, actually, it's not a question.
and there is my question. First one, when you fail to push the Java image, I see the storage is the quota usage of the storage is still updated. So after you fail, the storage, will the storage be rollback, or we just do the calculation based on blob and we need to wait for the GC?
Yeah, we have to wait for the GC because we calculate the storage for blob. Some of the blobs has already been uploaded successfully. So yeah.
So the question is, when you do GC successfully,
mm-hmm.
the blob will be removed. Will we update the usage data?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's really cool. And by the way, I think we need to do a little more investigation in the Docker's code to make sure if we can fail early, because currently the experience, I think hopefully we can improve the experience before we release. so that user will not need to wait for a few retries to really see the error message. We will try to fail early to give a user very quick feedback saying the quota is not enough.
Yeah, I will figure out why the Docker client is keeping retry to push the field blob.
Yeah, but this totally relies on the Docker client. We may or may not do this. If Docker client choose to keep retrying, there's nothing we can do. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. It's super cool. Thanks again.
Thank you. Anyone else has any question about code? Hi, wait.
Hey, thanks, Ian. Next is the tag revision from Steven. So, welcome, Steven.
Okay, hold on 1 minute. Let me clear my. Share my screen. Okay, I think the quarter demo is very, very fantastic. Okay. Okay, what I want to talk about is the tag retention, which is also an anchor feature for 1.9. And before we, watching the demo, I want to give you some introduction about this feature because I think we need to understand the main idea of this feature. Okay. Okay, I think the motivation to develop this feature because as an artifact of registry, Harbor will serve most of the CI/CD pipeline, and as a CI/CD pipeline, they always create large scale artifacts, and they will create a lot of out of date artifacts. And cleaning those out-of-date artifacts is a strong requirement because we needed to clean the repository to store some new ones. The background I want to mention here is this idea is originated from Nathan, which is one of our US maintainer from Highland Software. Last year, he developed a Harbor .tagd project, which is a script-based project to deliver the similar idea. Yeah, you can run some script to clean your repository, and then we ask Nathan to work out a native code with a native solution, and he submit the original proposal. The original proposal is submitted by Nathan last year, and this year when we want to deliver this feature, we have some new changes and some new requirements coming in. So we modify the proposal. So for this tag retention, we have two proposals. Okay. About the main idea of tag retention, it will be a policy based, and the policy will be created at the project level. Each project will have only one retention policy, and in this retention policy, you can create multiple roles. The rule is a standard pattern contain like action, like some condition, and you can also specify some selector to narrow down the scope. Okay, at least example. For example, you can retain the most recently pushed 10 image, and the match is some their tags may match some special pattern in repository A or B or some regular expression. And for the rules in the same policy, the relation for those rules in the same policy will be all a relation. Give an example here. For example, if we have one a rule 0, if the after evaluate the rule 0 may output keep repo x tag 1, repo x tag 3, repo y tag 2, and we have another rule 1. After evaluate this rule, the output may be a return. That means we keep repo x tag 3, repo z tag 4. So after the whole execution of these two rules, the tags repo x tag 1, repo y tag 2, repo x tag 3, and the repo z tag file will be returned. All other ones, all others are not in this returning list will be removed. So this is a return perspective. Okay, in 1.9 we will support the following 5 rules. The first one is return everything. That means you just you do not need to specify any parameter, but you can use some selector to narrow down the candidate list. And we also support the return the mostly pushed. This rule is evaluated based on the pushed time of the image or chart. Return image from the last number of days. This is a rule is evaluated based on the lifetime of the artifact, and return the most recent post. This is similar with the push, but this rule is evaluated based on the push time of the artifact. We also support the return most recent active. This will be evaluated based on the both push time and pull time. We'll use the latest time in one of pushed or pulled time. Okay, so I need here I want to select those contributors: Nathan from Highlight, Wenkai from VMware, Ziming Zhang from VMware. They did a lot of work to deliver this feature. Okay, let's see the demo now. Let's see. Hold on. Before the demo, I needed to say we just complete the code. We still have bugs in heads, so we cannot give you 4 times this time, but we can show the the core the main idea or the main workflow of tag retention. So first, let's say because tag retention is working at the project level. Here is the project. Let's see what we have now. We have 5 repositories. For the Golang, we have 2 tags. One is TTL, one is 1.12.5. And back to repository. Let's see what we have. Oh, sorry, we have not chart. If I update some chart. Okay, now we have 3 charts. Navigate to the tag retention policy. Here, you can click the, so far you can see we have no any retention rules created. So click the add rule to create one. Here, the 5 rule are listed here. You can choose which rule you want to use. So for the different meaning, for the meaning of those rules, we will provide some document or some tips to describe. Actually, you can understand what's the rule from their text. For example, let's say always, and matching something like, for example, Golang, and matching everything for Golang, and we do not set any labels. So here is, now we have one row created, return always with repository matching Go and Golang, and the tags matching double star. That means all the tags and the char, all the tags on the Golang will be retained. Okay, and that means spare one agent. Okay, add another one. We can add one more row. Still use always. We can select agent. Agent is a chart repository and match everything under this agent. Okay, now we have two retention rows. Here we have a run now button and a dry run. So before you really trigger the action, we can launch a dry run to see what will happen. 69 task. Okay, exceed. And we'll list all of the related repository. For the details, what happened in those repository, you can check the logs to see the details. For example, okay, there's something agent, for example, log agent. Okay, hold on. So in the log, we'll provide more details about the what happened for the retention process. So in the rule, we'll return the agent, everything under the agent chart. So it will return after the execution. So let's back to others. For example, API gateway. So you can say because API gateway is not covered in the rules, so it will be deleted after run the tag retention. And let's see another one, Golang. Okay, because we will keep Golang, so everything will be there. Let's check one more. It's for example, Fortin. Okay, Fortin will be deleted. So this is a dry run. So actually you can, give you a preview or report for what will happen after you launch the retention rules before you really trigger the action. I think that, a retention will be destroyed some artifacts. So check what will happen. Okay, now let's say launch a real action. There will be a confirmation dialog to let you confirm your action. Okay, I think everything is okay. Let's see Golang what happened. Golang is return, some other will delete. So this is a report. Let's back to the repository. You can say only Golang, only the tags on the Golang are returned. Let's back to navigate to the Helm charts. Okay, you can say only the agent here. Okay, that's the real action. Actually, we'll provide a schedule here. You can set a schedule to periodically trigger the retention process, and you can also add more rules here. Yeah, I want to say we have a bug to fetch the pull time, so pull and push time. So this time I will not demonstrate some other rules. So I think this is all. Do you have any question about the tag retention?
Yeah, I have a question. How many rules can you configure right now at most? Is there an upper limit?
Okay, yeah, actually we have a limitation, but I think we missed the code to enable that limitation. Based on our design, I think in one policy you can add 15 rules, max 15. Okay. Any other?
So how do I see the rules that are added? For example, if I add 3 rules, how do I see them?
Yeah, here. This is the rules you added.
I can always.
This
so
is the number of the rules you added.
So if I want to edit one rule, how do I do that?
This one?
I mean, want to change some existing rules. Can I do that?
Here?
Oh. Okay. I think the only concern is that we are supporting a combination of such. First, this is a really powerful feature, no disagreement. But when we support a combination of rules, it will be easily, I won't say easily, but it's possibly confuse the admin, like what will happen.
No, because
for example, by image number or count or number of days, and there's a I don't know, like always and and if we have the filters and the different rules, and if we consider this a combination of that, my gut feeling is that
no, because actually I think because it's policy based, it's in one policy there are multiple rules, so maybe it's a little it's not a very, very easy. First, you need to understand the behavior of those rules, but actually most of the rules, you can understand their behavior from their text. For example, the most recent push. So that means the most recent push because means the latest, right? For example, if you set the number is 3, so they will only keep the 3 latest pushed image, or other will be cleared. So the pushed will be, calculated based on the pushed time, right? So I think those ones is not so difficult to understand. So
but if I choose one like the most recently pushed and the other one most recent active number images with different filters, that's but please go ahead.
Steven, I think if we look at the ECR of AWS, their retention policy, there are documentation page, which has listed all the rules, all the conversations, how to explain that. Maybe we should add a similar page in our Harbor as well. Explain the rules.
Yeah, I think so. We need a document to describe each, the behavior of each rule we support, right? Then user can check the document to understand the rules. Before.
I have a question about what's the difference between recent active and recently pulled?
Yeah, I think actively means pushed or pulled, right?
Yeah, active means pushed or pulled. The latest pushed or pulled will select the latest one between pushed and pulled. So that means either pushed or pulled. So
okay. I think we need that page to explain.
That means it's a combined behavior. For example, you pushed or you pulled will make the image active, right? So because you is applied action to the image, so the image is becoming active again. So we need to select the latest one of the pushed or pulled time.
Yeah,
as a
that makes sense.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Steven. Really good the demo.
Yeah, really powerful feature.
I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Can you go back? Can you close that window? And then click on the edit or the dot. For just click, yeah. Can we add a enable disable? Because you might have configured a very complicated regex expression. You don't want to type it again.
enable, disable.
Yeah, instead of just delete.
Okay, I think we can add that feature. Yeah, I think we can.
Great, thanks.
Any other question?
And we don't need a priority of the rules, right? It's just
Yeah. So far, no priority for the rules because we are using all relationships, so it's
yeah. Let's hope we don't need to introduce the priority.
So I have a question. Do we need to set Harbor into read-only model during the execution? I mean the retention rules execution.
And why? I don't think so because the.
For example, the one rule is the most recently pushed. So you mean that just you just get the result at the time when the rules? No, I got it. Thank you.
Just lock it and then.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we don't need to handle that quota case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like it will run for a long time, and during that time, the push will be updated. But I don't think.
It's basically it's based on the snapshot. You take a snapshot.
Yeah, at the time when the rules.
After snapshot,
I got it.
Pushing.
And by the way, there is the possibility, although not quite often, but there's a possibility that user use Docker CLI to pull images based on the digest. Will we map the digest to the tag?
Can you repeat your question?
I can give you an example in the chat window, like Docker pull Ubuntu at char 256 blah 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 blah, like this, because currently the filter is based on tags.
Yeah.
So if user pull it using char 256, that means the filter will be bypassed, right? Or do we plan to do any matching?
Okay, I think this action will influence the push time, right? Anyway, this char will map into a tag, right? So I
see what you mean. So so you are relying on the interceptor to update the database for the timestamp.
Yeah. The pull time, the pull by digest will be updated.
Right, will get updated.
Okay.
The interceptor can handle this kind of request.
And by the way, when the retention runs, the quota will also be updated, right?
I have the same question.
Because I forgot to.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because the job is running in job service, so the retention process is running in the job service. So the deletion is triggered. It's launched by delete API. So I think quota will update.
Yeah, because it's triggered via the V2 proxy.
But
all the interceptors.
Yes.
Actually the user will not be updated because you have to execute the garbage collection. That will eventually update the quota user.
Yeah. Actually, what's the relation?
So I think there's a gap here, because
You're saying that the usage will be updated only when garbage collection.
Yes. So because the garbage collection is the only one way to delete blob from a file system.
Yeah, because if I think
So
the
I think the one gap between
I
tag retention and the garbage.
no.
Because we may continue the discussion offline, but personally, I think a better way is to update the usage when user delete the image. Because imagine I'm a project admin, I'm not a system admin, and I push some image by mistake, then my quota is full. Now I want to push a very important image.
But actually, the file system does not change. You just delete a reference in Harbor, not a real file.
Tenant or the.
But if we update the users here, it will be case or overuse the case, right?
So I think maybe we can take that offline, but I don't think it's a very good choice here. Just like the project admin cannot trigger GC, he has to wait for the admin to trigger GC so he can be able to push.
Actually, the deletion here is similar like a user deletes the.
Yeah. I think when user delete the usage, we should free up the space. Even it's still taking the physical storage, but from the user perspective, I have done all I can to free up the space. Now give me that quota, right?
Yes, I think I agree with Daniel, because the project admin might do the deletion because he saw the quota is reached to limit. So if we didn't reduce that number, it seems not right to the project admin. But I think this is a question for the quota, right? Not the tag retention.
Yeah.
As tag retention is calling the delete API. We probably can.
Yeah. I think tag retention
is offline.
Yeah. But the quota. Yeah, we may. Yeah.
Yeah, but we can discuss it offline.
Yeah.
Let's discuss.
When will the deletion be happen? I mean, daily or weekly, or what's the timeline?
Yeah, we can
schedule.
Set the schedule.
Schedule. Yeah, you can set a schedule. Yeah.
Does it have conflict with the GC or the other garbage collection cycle?
No. That tag retention has no relationship with the GC.
But when GC happens, if they
will set to read only
at the same time, the retention will fail because GC set to
read only.
Read only.
Yeah.
So the retention.
After we restore from the GC, would it resume the actual tag deletion?
Yeah, I think because we run the retention process in the job service, so if the job is filled, we'll retry 3 times with a reasonable interval. That's the only backoff solution so far.
Yeah, so in that case, that might skip one cycle for the tag retention action, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, if the GC process is too long and the 3 retry are all missing, so the tag retention will fail. But that's not a big deal because next time you can quickly run again.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit complicated. Maybe we need to have more tests on this one.
Yeah. I think that's a reasonable improvement, but I don't think in 1.9 we're gonna open a hole in the read-only mode. Yeah.
I mean, the testing could be more complicated because of these two mixed together with each other, right? So we need more test cases there. Yeah, that's good.
Great, thanks.
I just have one more request for tag retention. And I want to clone my rules from project A to project B because that is so complicated for me to set a new rule with the same settings. So So it's better to provide a way to clone my root to another project.
Yeah, we may also provide an import or export. So user can
It's just because it's so complicated.
file and do the import.
That's future. Yeah, actually
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the PRD they have mentioned the export import the rule as a JSON or XML or CSV. Then I think that's a future.
But if you only support one rule, then but yeah, I think support multiple rule may be required. Let's see the feedback after it.
Yeah, so we have a to-do item, which is, in addition to replicating data like images and charts, you could also replicate, config data. For example, the policy.
Actually, I'm wondering, are those rules really too difficult to understand?
Yeah, if you add 10, it is, I think.
Yeah, maybe we limit to maybe maximum 5 to be easier for the understanding and manageable.
Well, I think you don't have to understand what's going on when you add them together, because they're all treated as separate rules. So you could potentially, the 15 rules just means it could be 15 different end users who, set up these rules. They're not, it's an or relationship, not an and. So basically preserve, it'll always retain whatever you're trying to retain.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good point. We need to emphasize that in our document.
Is it a global
retain policy?
It's only for this project, or it's a global one?
It's 15 per project right now.
Per project.
Okay, for one project, for per project, you have 15 rules to retain tags you want.
Yeah.
So does the deletion actually will be triggering the replication?
I'm sorry. What do you mean?
When you delete a tag, does it get replicated to the other end if we have the replication rules?
Yes, I think
yeah.
We do that via the API.
We will replicate a deletion.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm just thinking this will be another level of complexity for the testing.
It is.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to, for the people who will be listening to this on the like a recording, we also have another feature that's a little far out, not for 1.9. I think possibly for 1.10, where we had this concept of an immutability, which means that certain tags cannot be deleted. So, in the context of tag retention, I think if you had configured immutability at a repository level, it would be excluded from tag retention policies, where it wouldn't take effect, basically. So it basically allows you to, right now the default behavior is if you push the same tag over and over again, pointer will change to the new digest, right? So by allowing immutability, you can't re-push the same tag because those image builds are probably in use right now. And so we want to have that traceability between the image build and the actual image version that's being hosted. So that's a feature we're working on for the next release. It's also, it's kind of related. It's related in some ways to tag retention as well as quota. So just a preview.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That's on my part, right? If you
That's cool.
Thank you. Wei.
Oh, thank you, Steven. Next is free talk. You can speak it in Chinese. Any questions?
No, I think we can close the meeting.
Okay. If no questions, we will end today's meeting. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you, Wei. Bye bye.
Thank you, Wei. Bye.
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 Thanks. Bye.